Are you thinking about buying a drone because you think it's going to make you a cinematic genius overnight? I hate to break it to you, but you are going to crash this drone even before you can get a decent shot out of it. And most of you are not going to have the patience to take it apart and fix it, and this toy is just going to collect dust on your shelf. Do yourself a favour and give up with this idea right now and just enjoy watching the cinematic footage on YouTube. This hobby is not for the faint-hearted. It takes months, if not years, of practice, crashes and frustrations to even get good. I am now 18 months in and I have a box of spare parts, propellers, screws and crashed drones that I can look at every single day. And I also have hundreds and hundreds of hours of experience on the simulator and hundreds of hours of experience flying the drones. And now I only feel that I've just taken off my training wheels. So if I haven't scared you enough already or insulted you enough already, and you still want to understand why you shouldn't get into flying drones, let's continue. Because I guarantee you, half this stuff you are not going to want to hear. But the people who really want to fly drones are the ones that listen to this type of information. In this video, I'm going to go through 7 key areas that you've got to have in the back of your mind if you want to get into drone flying, because they are vitally important to understand before doing it, because they are going to be the main stresses that you're going to have on a daily basis when taking these drones out. So if you really want to get into drone flying and you want to get into this hobby, I would really advise you sitting back, listening to my thoughts about these 7 different things that you need to talk about. So we're going to go through each area in detail. So get yourself a comfortable seat, a cup of coffee, and let's go through these key areas. Before we continue, I just want to ask you to do me one little favour, and it's the only time I'm going to ask you to do it, is just tap on that like button or the dislike button, whichever one you want, but just give me a little bit of feedback. That's all I'm asking for you. So with that said, let's get started. So the first reason why you shouldn't buy a drone in 2025 is the money pit. If you think the drone itself is going to be the only expense, you're super wrong. You've got to remember you need hard drive space, SD cards, you then need batteries, you then need the cables, and if you want to upload and edit all of your footage to social media, you're going to need some editing software, you're going to need a decent computer, and you're going to need also time to understand how to do this. And I promise you, all of these accessories I've just talked about are going to drain your wallet faster than you can say cinematic footage. And guess what? If you do break the drone and you end up having to buy a new one, or you think you're going to be able to fix it yourself, this is super frustrating too. So you're going to need other tools to be able to take it apart as well. And once you've took it apart, you're probably going to break it even further. And there you need to have the patience to be able to learn how to fix the things that you broke whilst trying to fix the broken stuff on the drone. So in other words, one bad crash can take your fancy little toy to a nice expensive paperweight. So the next reason why you shouldn't buy a drone in 2025 is the skill gap delusion. And I want to just give you a little bit of context here. I've been flying drones now for 18 months and spent thousands of euros on different types of drones. And this €25 shell still doesn't have motors or anything inside of it. If that isn't enough to show you how difficult this hobby is and how much time and effort it needs, and I am a person who likes to understand things before I actually do it. And once I did understand how to fly these drones, I did then go and buy the Avata 2 because I trusted myself to be able to fly a €700 drone. But that isn't the only cost that you have to have. This should now bring you back to the money pit, is that you're going to have to spend €700 on the drone, and then the goggles, and then the controller, and then all of the other things if you just want to do FPV flying. It's all well and good buying a drone like this, specifically the Avata 2, that it comes in beginner mode, but until you can get out this beginner mode, it's going to take you hundreds of hours to be able to confidently fly a drone like this through tight gaps in places where it's not going to crash and you're not going to lose over €500 in the space of a few minutes. If you haven't started this hobby already, go and download a simulator. Buy a controller, it's going to cost you $50, and after 5 minutes the light bulb will go on your head and say, wow, this is extremely hard. If you truly want to understand how much skill you're going to need to be able to hover this drone, go and download a simulator, buy yourself a controller and try and hover that one drone in the same area for 10 seconds. And if you can do that and fly it forward and hover it and then land it again, you are nearly ready to start flying a drone like this. But this is the first test to do, and it's only going to cost you time, and it's only going to cost you the price of a controller and possibly a decent computer to play that game as well. Do not underestimate the skill gap. It is a massive learning curve if you want to get into FPV, and it's also a learning curve if you want to get into drone flying, which we haven't talked to all the laws and all of the other stuff yet, but this is part of the learning curve. Just remember, if you want to be able to build and create your own custom drones, you're going to have to know about electronics, soldering, batteries. You're going to have to understand some mathematics, you're going to have to understand some electronics, and there's a whole bunch more things you're going to have to understand, and once again it's going to cost you lots of money too. So if this reason hasn't already put you off buying a drone, I wouldn't suggest going out and buying the Avata 2 first of all. I would suggest going out buying the DJI Neo. It's far cheaper and you can crash this a whole bunch of times without it breaking, because I have crashed it many times and it is still working. I've taken the propeller guards off because I just don't need them anymore, and you can fly a lot better without them. So now you understand the skill delusion of flying drones. Are you ready to continue? So the next point is the legal nightmare. It's so important. I just cannot repeat it enough times. It's so important to understand the local drone laws, and then the regional drone laws, and then your country's drone laws, and then if you're in Europe, the European drone laws too, because different countries will have their own interpretation of the laws, and the different local areas, they might have the temporary restrictions that you can and can't do. So it's always important that you understand what the drone laws are. And so this is just on the ethical side of it. Are you doing it correctly? Are you flying at the right time in the right place, etc., etc.? But then there are the drone police, these people who come around and they listen out for drones and they come running after you and telling you that you can or can't fly there. So it's super important that you know the drone laws. And if they come over to you and start bothering you, then you can either just turn around and walk away and just leave them alone, or just tell them to phone the police, all right? Because the police are going to inform them that you can do it if you are in a place where you know you are following the drone laws correctly. So with that said, it's so important that you understand the laws of drone flying and you stay within inside of that one circle. If you want to go outside of that one circle, that's your thing. You take the consequences that come with it. But that's all I'm going to say about that. So my next point is reality versus Instagram versus TikTok versus social media. So if you're dreaming about capturing jaw-dropping shots that you're going to post online, everyone's going to absolutely love them, it's going to go viral, no, you got another thing coming there. The thing that you don't see in that 20-second video is the 20 minutes or the 30 minutes or the hour of preparation, cycling, flying round and round and round, learning your environment, learning how the drone works. Is it windy, or can you fly there? Are there people walking around at the moment? Did you have enough confidence to do it? Did you have enough skill to do it? And then you have like the 700 megabyte footage that you actually uploaded to social media, and then you look at the 20 gigabytes worth of footage that you actually took. It just doesn't work that way. The first shot isn't always the best shot, and you have to learn over time how to create nice shots, how to use the drone to create the shots that you believe are jaw-dropping and the other people think they are jaw-dropping as well. So reality versus what you see on social media isn't always the same, and it takes a lot of thought and preparation beforehand to be able to actually execute that one drone footage. And remember, all the time whilst you're flying, you have the other thoughts in your head. Am I going to crash it? Are there people annoying me? Are the drone police going to come and tell you can and can't fly it? Are there going to be people coming out saying that they don't want their footage on YouTube? Are there going to be people coming out from buildings say you can't film here? Or this, that and the other. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you've got to have in your head before you get that jaw-dropping footage that you can post online and go viral. Eileen's made me lunch, so see you in a bit. So the next point we're going to talk about is maintenance hell. I'm lucky right now because I have a lot of DJI drones. I'm lucky that I can afford these drones, but they still come with maintenance. You still have to make sure that the blades are all okay. You still have to make sure that all the screws are together. There's some form of maintenance, and updated as well. And that's not to mention the likes of then the controllers, that the software is updated on them, that the batteries are charged, that you've still got then the sticks then, that you haven't lost any of them, you haven't broken anything. So there are lots of things that you have to think about prior to buying the drones. Then you've got to worry about the wear and tear of those drones. Do you have bags that you can carry them around in? Have the drones been looked after, basically? So you've got to look after these things. It's a lot of money that you invest into it. I don't really have any experience on this side of it, but I'm certain that when it comes down to building your own drones, these ones need huge amount of maintenance because you're going to have different batteries that are going to be degrading. There's going to be wires, there's going to be dirt, there's going to be dust on all sorts of the electronics or the boards on here that you're going to have to maintain. So this is something that you really need to understand. If you buy a drone that's pre-built, you really should know how to take it apart and put it back together again and debug by plugging the cable in, looking on Betaflight, looking at all of this stuff and connecting the controller with the drone, the antennas. I just much prefer having out of the box, top quality drone that I just don't have to worry about this maintenance, and I only have to worry about doing a few screws up, this, that and the other, especially with the Avata 2 and also the DJI Neo, which I just think is brilliant, and it does everything that I need. So if you do want to go into this hobby, then you either need lots of money, well actually you need lots of money anyway to do this hobby, or you need lots of patience and obviously lots of time to debug the problems that are going to occur. Now don't think for a second that you're going to have peace whilst flying drones. This is the social stigma, and this is the point we're going to get into next. You have to be really picky and choosy about where you stand when you take that drone off and when you land that drone. Are there other people around you? Are they going to say anything? Warn them beforehand. Hey, I'm going to fly my drone here. Is that okay with you? Have a little bit of respect for the other people, and they tend to have respect back. If the people are around you, tell them you're making a YouTube video, you're making a social media video, and if you don't want to be in it, please just stand away, but you're more than welcome to watch. And if you have any questions, please let me finish doing my drone flying, and then I'll answer everything you want to know and I'll show you them, right? This is the positive side of it, but the social stigma that you're going to get is the exact opposite. And you will get people coming up to you telling you that you can and you can't do this, and you shouldn't be here and you shouldn't be this, and these are the drone laws, and this is where you can't fly it, and you can't take videos of me. And I'm like, I don't want to take videos of you, I want you to go away. This is the social stigma that you're going to get a percentage of the time. Most of the time, if you're nice and friendly and respectful to everyone around you, you tend to get the opposite. So this is all down to you in how you are going to go outside and fly the drones. Go to places where they're not busy. You shouldn't be flying drones over people anyway. And if you're going to go to a park where there's lots of people on a Sunday walking their dogs and just walking with their kids and their family and so on, you're kind of disrespecting their privacy. This is what they're going to think. I'm not saying you actually are, but some of these people are going to think that, and other people are not even going to know the drone is flying, even though you can hear it explicitly. So this is something that you have to have in mind. The social stigma with drones, especially with other stuff that went on over the past few years in Europe with regards to drone flyings, it still doesn't have the best reputation, and there are other people out there with drones that don't give us the best reputation. That's why you need to be transparent with people, show them that you're going to fly, and respect them when they are there, and answer all questions that you need to. And once again, going back to one of the previous points, is know the drone laws, because they are most of the time say, are you actually allowed to fly there? And they're actually interested in that question, but they seem to think that you can't do it, or they seem to think that you can't video people in public. You can't take their photo in public. As long as they are not the main subject of that photo or that one video, and you aren't invading their privacy by going into their closed system, their closed area where they're trying to have a private conversation with someone, you can basically do whatever you want in the public. But remember, there's an ethical part of it, is respecting people's expectations of privacy. This falls under the social stigma. If you can respect that, you don't tend to have a problem with the social stigma, but you're always going to encounter these people that just want to tell you what you can and can't do. That's why I call them the drone police. All right, I've got other words for them, but on this video we just call them the drone police. The seventh and final point is your expectations versus reality of actually what you're going to capture. Now, I've been out many times to different places and recorded tens of hours of footage of different places, and I'm still not totally happy with the footage that I've got. So my expectation was high, and the reality was that I had maybe 2 minutes worth of footage out of the tens of hours of footage that I had taken. And that's then the tens of hours of footage I had taken, and then it took me 40 minutes to walk there, set everything up, to walk back, and then put it all onto hard drives, back it all up, and then go through hours of editing the footage and then putting some music on it and so on, and posting it online, and then no one watches it. So, you know, your expectation versus reality, it needs to be a hobby. And this is the most important thing, is it needs to stay a hobby. And don't expect anyone to think your footage is any good. Over time, you do get better. So when you can learn how to fly the drones in one direction, nice and straight, you will learn what speed you need to fly those drones to have good footage, because you fly them too slow and they bounce a little bit in the end footage. You fly them too fast and you get motion blur, if you want that type of thing. Or you fly them too fast and then you don't get enough detail in your footage. So you just need to find that nice sweet spot where you get the nice footage there, and then fly it in the opposite direction, coming back again, right? And if you're flying forward, find the right speed that you want, pick the subject that you want to have as the main focus, and put them in the middle or put them wherever you want it, and then fly backwards from it, and then fly forward to it, knowing you're keeping them in the subject. And then do diagonal shots. And then once you've mastered doing these shots and going up and down, once you've mastered those shots, start doing some orbits around things. Orbit round clockwise, anti-clockwise, orbit in close, orbit in far away, and then start doing like a vertical orbits type thing. So these are all different types of shots that you should just be able to master when you see something that you want to take cinematic footage of. These are the shots that you should take, because if all else fails, you have these traditional nice easy shots going in all different directions, and hopefully once you're flying around you might have that cinematic shot that you've got, and you can back it up with all of this other footage that you have as well, and then you can color grade everything together, and then it may look okay. Right? And I'm still moving to that level. There's a whole bunch of other things that you need to learn on top of just drone flying. There's how to edit the videos, how to edit them quickly, how to put some music in with it as well. Which music can you put on different social media platforms? When can you use that music? So your expectation that it will be super fun, super easy, cinematic footage, and you'll be the next top thing, getting promoted by DJI or getting promoted by another company, versus reality is probably you'll end up going to the shop and buying multiple hard drives consistently every couple of months because you've already filled up a hard drive already, and you buy more micro SD cards because you've filled another one up, and you go and buy another drone because you want another drone. This is the reality. So if you're going to get into this hobby, the reality is, one, it's going to cost you a lot of time. Two, it's going to cost you a lot of money, right? Three, it's going to cost a lot of patience. Four, it's a fantastic amount of fun, but as long as you can get over these three things here, right, it's super loads of fun. And once you've got those four things pretty much down, and you start understanding how to edit that footage, and how you can start to color grade that footage, and how you can start to put it together to make it interesting, right? It's all well and good having the footage, but if you can't put it together to make it interesting as well and kind of tell a story, still learning, then this is another thing that you've got to expect to learn. So don't think it's all happy days. I don't think it's all super easy. And if you want to go and buy the drone to start doing like auditing like some people do, then absolutely fine. But just take it with a pinch of salt. It's fun, it's super expensive, it needs lots and lots of practice, and needs 10 times more amount of patience. So just to summarize now, I've been actively flying drones now for 18 months. When I say actively, I mean at least flying a drone once a week, for at least an hour a week on the simulator, outside with the drones, and so on. I've spent at least 400 hours on the simulator, flying all different levels of drone, all different speeds, all different courses, all different techniques, and so on. I've spent so many hours, I don't know how many hours, learning about drone parts, electronics, which motors you need, which propellers you need, why you need X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C. A multitude of things I've spent watching online. I've researched all different drone companies and drone parts and this, that, and the other. I've then spent a minimum of 5,000 euros on drones. Most of the money is there and most of the money is down here. This is not including all of the hard drives that I've had to buy to back up all of that footage. So this is now not talking about all of the other stuff that I need to edit all of this footage, i.e. computers, and so on. You understand what I'm talking about. So if you really want to get into this hobby, if you want to move into the FPV world, then it's another step on top of what I've just done here. If you want to go into the cinematic side of it, then do that. But you have to be aware that it does take a lot of time. And I've seen other people buy drones and they've posted pictures of drones on social media. They've made a couple of videos and then they don't make any videos anymore. And I think, why not? Did you crash the drone? Did you give up? Did you find it was too difficult? What were the reasons? So before you go into this hobby, you really need to sit back and think. Everything that I've said in this video, I'm not making any of it up. This is my experience, and these are the things that you really need to understand. And I'm talking about all of the fun things, the side effects that you get from drone flying. So let me tell you some positive parts, apart from actually seeing all of the footage of having nice holidays and seeing all of these things afterwards and having, that's all one side of it. The other incredible side of it is that you go out more, right? You experience the skies, you experience the clouds, you view everything in a whole different light. Quite literally, you go out at sunset, you go out sunrise, you go out when there's the golden hour. You want to walk through different places to see different things, and you look at trees and woods differently. Can I fly the drone through here? Can I fly through this building area? Can I fly above this? What does it look like from here? There's a multitude of things that you see the world in another perspective. So the point is that if you can get through this initial phase of finances, of patience, of learning, the learning curve, and so on, the grass is green. I must say that quite literally. The grass is green and this hobby is well worth doing. So I would highly recommend starting this hobby, but you're going to have to get over these hurdles first of all. So with that said, thank you very much for watching like 25 minutes of this one video. I hope you've got something out of it. I truly do. I've made this because I speak to so many people about drone flying, and yeah, I've learned to do this technical conversation in German with people here in Germany, and I think it's improved my German, it's improved my people skills, because in the beginning I just used to tell people to go away when they told me I could or couldn't fly a drone here. I said, I'm not interested in what you say, go away. But now I just embrace these people and I just say, yeah, phone the police. If you feel that I'm doing something illegal, phone the police. It's a civil matter anyway, so yeah, do what you want. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. If you do like this content and you want to see me in other videos, talk about other things, are you interested in programming or my life in Germany, my time in Borussia Dortmund football stadium, my time doing other things, Then check out my channel. Come and check out my Instagram as well. It's David Thorne on Instagram. Otherwise, my TikTok is David James Thorne on TikTok. So yeah, with that said, thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions, feedback, concerns, etc., etc., let's start a conversation in the comment section down below. I'm not going to talk about drone laws in the comment section, so if you do tell me you can, I can't do this, I'm not going to answer. I'm just going to ignore you. If you do want to ask questions about which type of drones, etc., I'm more than happy to answer, but I'm not going to talk about drone laws in the comment section. Other than that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. It's interacting with the video. And I'll be interested to know if a specific button below lights up now. So don't forget to subscribe, right? If you want to be notified of future videos, tap that bell as well. With that said, thank you very much for watching. My name is David Thorne. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye. I forgot to press record. So, I've put all the drones away now. If you look back in the video, all the drones were there, here. Just bonus content. So, the Mini 4 Pro, the R3S. I'm not showing the other side because it's got my EID on it. ND filters for the Mini 4 Pro, definitely a must. You get ND filters with the R3S already. You need a competency test for this drone. Here's the batteries for the R3S. I find it very difficult to actually fly and use up all of one battery, and I don't think I've ever used 2 batteries or 3 batteries in one flight because it's just amazing battery. Don't buy a DJI drone unless you've got one of these. It's worth spending the extra money on, so don't cheap out on this drone and not have this. If you're going to buy the Mini 4 Pro, make sure you get the screen with it too, because this is awesome. I've got 2 of these actually, but I've got one with this drone and I've got one with this drone, but the other one for the R3, this is the R3S one actually. It's just basically in the box, so I just use one and that's it, and just flick between the 2 of them. Get a bag for your drones. The Avata 2 sits nicely in its bag, and then the controller I place in here as well. I don't have the remote controller, motion controller, because I don't want to use it. This fits nicely in there, and then I've got a lanyard type thing for the remote controller, and I've also got the sticks here for the remote controller too. So that's the nice bag that you get. This you get with the drone anyway. The other ones, you get a bag with the R3S, super bag, probably the best bag. And you get a bag with the Mini 4 Pro too. But when you have to carry it all down together, then I advise buying a bag like this. So, there's my bag. I can't see the screen now. There's my bag. As with my lenses, my batteries. R3S batteries go here. Mini 4 Pro goes there. And I've got the R3S there. Got all my straps and lenses and stuff. ND filters come here. And so on. Let's put you back again. So, there we go. I really like people that watch my videos. I've got my headphones on still. I really like people that watch the videos all the way through to the end. So, this is the bonus content for you. It's the Easter egg. It's Easter, nearly. Thanks then. Ciao, ciao. You are the best people. You are the best. You really are.